Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back, everybody.
We hope everybody is doing well out there. We know a lot of people are going through some pretty tough times. We do want to ask everybody to subscribe if you haven't to both channels, EEARTS and also Evolutionary Energy Arts. And, we've been going through working on and helping so many people that are just going through a lot of emotional things as well as physical things. This time, it's obviously been a very, very stressful time for everybody. So many different reasons as well.
Yeah, it's a time where we can expect for the energies to increase in a sense where we're going to have to face some of our biggest fears. We're going to have to take a look at our traumas. And I think it's really important we do things deliberately to help us heal, because it's interesting when sometimes when I hear from people, many different people on the same day needing a little bit of a balancing, hey, I'm having a hard time. It's like it comes in waves. So we have a lot of things going on in the world that's causing a lot of trouble and a lot of heartache. So we wanted to focus on sending some energy out to these situations to bring some peace and bring some resolve to them. So when we're dealing with information and energy, when we put information out towards something, the energy is going to flow toward that thing, and with the intent to bring some kind of healing toward it. And that's what we wanted to focus on today.
Yes, and we want to just send prayers out for the entire world. All the people that just don't understand what's really going on behind the scenes, but yet are suffering firsthand. As we know, there's been so many people that have been dying now unexpectedly, very young, way before their time. I was telling Cindy that, they got more numbers out showing a loss of like 2.7 years in life expectancy in some areas in this country, in the USA. And, it's not just here. It's everywhere. There is something so big going on behind the scenes that many people now are awakening to, that it's beyond conception in the minds, unfortunately, of so many people, that this could actually be happening. And now I've also seen comments that are very much in line with what I've been thinking. We're looking at it right now, and a year from now, I think the perspective will have totally shifted and totally changed to where what we have been witnessing is something that is going to be on such a magnitude that it really is going to shock, and it is shocking society to the core. The only way that this narrative could be controlled is with things that are even more shocking. And, that's the reality here. So we have to be aware of that. We have to recognize in so many ways, here we are, we are far behind enemy lines, and we are encircled, yet we are the many. And this is being perpetrated by the few. If we could just wake up the world.
It's being perpetrated by a few people that have complete understanding of how this etheric nature of things works. They are schooled, they are educated, they are, and they teach their children too how this nature of things truly works. So if we can just help spread this information of how things can be changed out in the ether through our collective consciousness by our wants, by our desires, then that gives us a chance to open up the doors for many, many more people to experience a life that is full and dissolve so many of the control mechanisms that are in place. I mean, look at how many devices we have. we have phones, we have tablets, we have computers, we have TVs, and it's all sending information to and from everywhere. And these EMFs are not serving our human bodies very well. Plus the food that's layered on top of that, plus the medical care that's layered on top of that. This is an alchemical reaction to keep us ill. And I think as many people as we can explain this to, this is going to help them break away from that system and set them on a new journey, a journey that's going to start to shift the collective. And I think that's really important. We start working on that now as much as is allowed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's wake this world up and let's take it back, because it is ours. It is our world, and it should be a beautiful place of wonderful, joyful experience, not full of sorrow and sadness and tragedy, that is completely being orchestrated on the highest levels. So Cindy's going to give us a tuning. And again, with quantum physics, we know there is something called quantum entanglement. And we are all entangled with each other. We are all individual waves in an ocean of consciousness. And so it doesn't really matter if you guys are in Australia and we're in Texas, or if you're in the UK, or if you're in Poland or Sweden or China or anywhere. Distance doesn't matter, because we are all connected. We are all connected together. And Cindy's going to give us some dings, because again, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, right? And the Word was God. This is how creation happens. We have to have our intention, our focus, and when we speak, we are actually creating. We're creating vibrations and frequencies. When we play music, when we listen to music, when Cindy dings her tuning forks at certain frequencies, certain hertz, they are going through, and as long as you could hear it, even if you can't hear it, it still has an effect on your consciousness, if we and you have the intention that it does.
Mm-hmm. I want you guys to please put something positive in your mind that's going to help people out there who might be dealing with weather difficulties, who are dealing with medical difficulties. And we're going to send this huge wave of energy and intent out to anyone who needs and is willing to accept it. So I want you to focus on something very, very positive, seeing people in this world very happy, very content, free to live their life's dream. And let's focus on this for just a little bit. Now, I would also like to use the weighted fork. You won't be able to hear it, but I'm pretty sure many of you will feel it. And this is a repatterning, and this brings everything back to perfection. And what this helps to do, it takes the chaotic energy that is all around us through different types of traumas, through different things we've gone through that have taken us off of our path. And this takes that chaotic energy and it organizes it. And it just makes things much, much easier, more coherent with each other. So things can happen easier. Intent, when we make it the intention to do something, that intention is more likely to happen because we've repatterned back into the all. So I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Absolutely. And, another thing that can really help you when you are being attacked by these dark energies, we just simply have to tell them to go. It really is the case. And, it doesn't really matter what name you say, what forces you count on and call into your sphere of influence, as long as your intention is strong, and long as also you are clearly visualizing that you don't want any of these negative energies manipulating you, attacking you. Just as we have ticks and leeches and parasitic entities on this 3D realm, there are also entities on the 4D realm in the lower astral that unfortunately do consistently, day in and day out, attach to humans that don't even know that these things are attached to them. You might, not understand, why am I feeling off today? Why am I feeling irritable? Why am I feeling sad? Why do I feel tired? Why do I just have to have another drink, another cigarette, another whatever? Because these entities are literally manipulating you. They are manipulating you into creating a frequency that they can feed off of. And they do that. And Cindy's daughter, Emma, very, very gifted young lady, too. She would see these things that she called something goblins.
Goblin angels. She called them goblin angels, because she was young and she wasn't indoctrinated or anything. And they just didn't look like pretty angels. So she called them goblin angels. And they were all over the place. People might be having a fight across the street. And sure enough, there is one sitting on the fence not too far away, sucking on that energy. And things would happen in the classroom, in school, and like somebody's paper would get thrown off the desk, and one of these goblin angels would make it look like another kid did it. So of course there was a little bit of a fight ensued, and then they just sit there and they absorb it. So this is a very, very real thing we have going on here, and that's just a way to bring a little bit of a visual toward what's happening, because most people, when they look with their eyes, they don't see these beings, so they don't think anything is wrong. They just think, well, something rubbed me the wrong way, or there's something wrong with our relationship, or somebody, they always want to blame themselves. But many times these entities, they're in there pushing buttons, and they're in our lives, doing what they can to bring a little angst, because it feeds them.
Absolutely. So, we encourage you to burn sage. Sage can most definitely help knock these entities out. They have to leave. If you burn sage and you tell them to leave, they just have to leave. It gets very uncomfortable for them. And they will leave. And, they'll clear the space. It might be something that you have to do repetitively. There's also a ritual we've talked about called the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram. And to give you a very, very short, quick, abbreviated version of that, that's pretty easy to do. Take your fingers, you could use just your index finger or your index and middle, and inhale in and face the east. As you exhale out, take your fingers and you're pointing them towards the east, starting at the lower left-hand corner. Exhale, see yourself drawing a silvery blue light. And again, this is where visualization exercises over time get to be very, very powerful. And they are something we need to practice. Draw it up to the top. So you have a point. Draw it down to the lower right. Draw it over towards shoulder height, like at the middle, sort of between the lower left and the point at the top, and then come across to the same point opposite on the right side and come back down to that lower left. So you've drawn a star, a 5-pointed star. The 5-pointed star symbolizes the elements, the 4 elements, earth, air, fire, and water, with spirit at the top. So you're saying it's spirit, it's soul, it's source that controls this world. And I have source in me, and I am in control of the elements in my life, is what you're saying when you're doing this. And you're banishing out anything that is negative, anything you don't want there. It's just that simple. So see and visualize yourself drawing this 5-pointed star in the ether in a silvery blue light, and then inhale in and push it so that it goes off into the east, clearing out everything from your property and your immediate area away that's negative, again, lower vibe. And then just move 90 degrees over to face the south and repeat. And then do the same, going 90 degrees again, and then, towards the west, do the same thing and come back again towards the north, and then come back facing east. So you'll have 4 stars, one going in each direction. And that's the most abbreviated version you can do, basically, of this lesser banishing ritual at the pentagram. You can also add the names of the archangels if you want, in which case you would start with Raphael to the east, to the south, Michael, and then to the west, Gabriel, and then to the north, Oriel, and then come back to the east. So you see them visualized all around you. You could connect them with a line through the center. You could see that become a sphere that's encasing your property where you are at, your entire being, and just make that intention. All beings are removed from this space, and you could add in, besides my guides and guardian angels, or whatever it is that you're comfortable with. But you make that intention, you put it out there. They always work by trickery. They're always trying to trick us. They trick us left, they trick us right. They get us to give our will away. They get us to give our freedoms away. And again, the beings that are in control of the controllers are fourth density, lower fourth density beings. So again, this really does work to clear out space.
Yes, I would highly recommend you guys learn how to do that, because sometimes it's really helpful if you know how to do it in a pinch. And a little bit of effort will go a really long way. And also, many of you who are listening are very, very gifted, and you have children that are very gifted. And I just want to encourage people to check in on their children and see, if they're having any experiences that might be negative, because this is something I've had to talk to my children about, because it's a crazy world out there. We're taught one thing, but the truth is another. So this is that star you want to learn how to make it. It looks just like a star you would make when you're in school with a pencil, but you just want to do that with your finger, and that holds a lot of power.
Absolutely. And so, when you do it this way, where you do it where it's point up, and, it does represent the microcosm in man, because you could also visualize that as a person, with their legs are out and their arms are out to the side and the head is up at the point of the star. And then, of course, we've seen the reverse, which, in those satanic, quote unquote, circles, where they're actually putting into the superior position the material over the spirit. So again, you can see how everything in the controller's minds is upside down. And again, it's just how they are, who they are, and what they value. They don't want to go any higher than the lower astral realm. And that's the realm that's thought to contain all the dark, nasty pits of hell, so to speak, but that's what they call home. They have no aspirations for going up into the higher densities. And, again, we can view their fruit of their type of labors that they put out in this world as their system is so twisted. So we need to wake up, world. We need to take back this world and remove this darkness from the land. And we do want to thank everybody that is supporting us on Ko-Fi and Patreon. Complete the circle by supporting each other as well, by putting your intentions out there. Recognize what's going on. This is not coincidences. What's gone on right now is an attack against life. It's a travesty, it's a tragedy, and it's outright war. It's a total war against humanity, and really all that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're not looking at the screen, maybe take a look at the screen so we know exactly what's going on. Just we have to be very careful with our vocabulary words because we're wanting to stay in touch with you guys, so we can walk you through some prayers and we can walk you through some mantras and some good intentions, because that's where it's at. It's all in our energy field to make the changes that need to be made.
Absolutely. So again, have no fear of calling on the creator of the universe. You could just use that term, and leave it at that, because again, these beings are so full of tricks. So you could call on the energies of the benevolent creator of this universe, of all those beings that are working for the light, for the love, for the peace and harmony, the beings that have compassion for all souls, incarnate, discarnate, on all densities. May you guys always be blessed and kept safe. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.